Burkina Faso is often described through the lens of poverty, insecurity, and urgent challenges. It is a country that has faced years of pressure, both internal and external, where priorities are usually framed around survival rather than long-term vision. Yet, in recent years, a different choice has begun to emerge from the highest levels of government, a choice that may appear surprising at first glance, but becomes deeply logical when examined closely. That choice is sport. In January 2026, before the National Assembly, the Prime Minister of Burkina Faso stated clearly that sport is no longer considered a secondary activity or a luxury. It is now defined as a pillar of economic growth and a powerful instrument of social cohesion. This declaration did not come as empty rhetoric. It was supported by concrete actions, measurable results, and a strategic direction that places human development at the center of national policy. In a country where resources are limited and security concerns remain significant, the decision to invest in stadiums, training systems, coaches, and youth competitions may raise questions. Why sport, and why now? The answer lies in a broader vision of nation building. Sport is not only about competition or entertainment, it is about discipline, structure, collective effort, and opportunity. It is about giving young people a framework in which talent can be discovered, effort can be rewarded, and social bonds can be strengthened. The achievements of the year 2025 already offer a glimpse into this strategy. Burkina Faso recorded hundreds of medals in international competitions, modernized major sports infrastructure, and reinforced its domestic training systems. These results are not isolated successes. They are signals of a deeper transformation underway. This story is not simply about football, stadiums, or medals. It is about a government that has chosen to invest in its people, to shape character as much as performance, and to prepare a generation capable of carrying the country forward. To understand this strategy, one must look beyond the surface and examine how sport has become a tool for economic resilience, social unity, and long-term national confidence. For the government of Burkina Faso, sport is no longer viewed as a simple recreational activity reserved for a small elite. It is now understood as a sector capable of generating economic value and strengthening social cohesion at the same time. This shift in perspective is essential to understanding why sport has been elevated to the level of a national priority. From an economic standpoint, sport creates a chain of activity that extends far beyond the playing field. The construction and renovation of stadiums generate jobs in building, maintenance, security, and logistics. Sporting events stimulate local commerce, transport services, food vendors, and small businesses operating around competition venues, even at a modest scale. These activities inject income into communities and help circulate money within the national economy. At the same time, sport plays a unique social role, particularly in a country where youth represent a large share of the population. Organized sport offers structure, discipline, and clear rules. It teaches respect, teamwork, and perseverance. These values are not abstract concepts. They are learned on the field and carried into daily life, schools, and communities. The results observed in 2025 illustrate this dynamic. Burkina Faso participated in more than 100 international competitions and collected hundreds of medals. These achievements reflect a growing base of active athletes, coaches, and support staff. They also reinforce national pride and provide positive narratives in a context often dominated by negative news. Social cohesion is strengthened when young people share common goals and collective experiences. Sporting success brings together families, neighborhoods, and regions around a shared sense of belonging. In this way, Sport becomes a quiet but powerful force for unity. By investing in sport, Burkina Faso is not choosing entertainment over responsibility. It is choosing a tool that combines economic activity, social stability, and youth engagement. This combination makes sport a practical and strategic lever for long-term development. Any serious strategy in sport begins with infrastructure. Without reliable and standardized facilities, talent cannot develop, competitions cannot be hosted, and economic activity cannot take shape. This reality has guided the recent choices made by the government of Burkina Faso in its approach to sports development. One of the most symbolic achievements of this effort is the rehabilitation and certification of the Stade du Quatre Août in Ouagadougou. Its approval by the Confederation of African Football represents more than a technical milestone. It restores the country's ability to host international matches on its own soil, keeping sporting activity, revenue, and national pride within its borders. At the same time, the construction of the Stade de l'Eguema in Bobo Dioulasso marks a strategic expansion beyond the capital, with a capacity of 15,000 seats and progress estimated at 75%. This stadium is designed to meet international standards. It is not only a venue for competition, but also a catalyst for local economic activity, youth engagement, and regional balance in sports investment. In parallel, the renovation of the Stade Sangoulé La Maisana reflects a broader vision of multifunctional infrastructure. By aligning sports facilities with national cultural events, Burkina Faso maximizes the social and economic use of its public investments. These projects demonstrate a clear principle. Infrastructure is not built for prestige or image. It is built to serve training, competition, and community life over the long term. Modern stadiums provide safe spaces for athletes, coaches, and spectators. They allow for regular activity rather than occasional events. By laying this physical foundation, Burkina Faso ensures that future investments in academies, coaches, and youth programs rest on solid ground. Infrastructure is not the final goal. It is the necessary starting point for sustainable sports development. At the center of Burkina Faso's sports strategy for the year 2026 stands a decision of long-term significance: the construction of 5 national sports academies. This initiative represents far more than an expansion of facilities. It reflects a deliberate choice to invest in people, especially young people, as the foundation of national development. These academies are designed to welcome adolescents and young adults, generally between the ages of 12 and 20. Their mission is not limited to producing elite athletes. It is to create a structured environment where physical training, discipline, education, and personal responsibility develop together. In this model, sport becomes a school of character as much as a path to performance. For a country like Burkina Faso, this approach carries strategic value. Many young people possess natural talent but lack guidance, equipment, and continuity. Without structure, talent is often lost. The academies are meant to correct this imbalance by offering regular training, qualified supervision, and a clear progression pathway. From school to academy, from academy to club, and eventually to national selection. The journey becomes coherent and attainable. The academies also serve a broader social purpose. They provide safe spaces where young people are occupied, motivated, and supported. This reduces vulnerability to social drift and reinforces values such as effort, respect, and collective responsibility. These values extend beyond sport and contribute to community stability. Importantly, the academies are conceived as part of a national system. not isolated projects. Their effectiveness depends on their connection to modern infrastructure, trained coaches, and youth competitions. Together, these elements form an ecosystem that can sustain results over time. By placing academies at the heart of its strategy, Burkina Faso signals a clear intention. The future of sport, and of the nation itself, will be built through structured investment in its youth and its human potential. No sports strategy can succeed without qualified human resources. In football, the role of the coach is decisive. Recognizing this reality, Burkina Faso has made the standardization and professionalization of its coaches a central pillar of its sports development policy for many years. The country faced a structural shortage of trained coaches, especially at the grassroots level. In numerous clubs and schools, one individual was expected to act simultaneously as technical coach, physical trainer, and psychological guide. This situation limited the quality of training and slowed the development of young players. To address this challenge, the Burkina Faso Football Federation, in coordination with national authorities, intensified its training programs aligned with the standards of the Confederation of African Football. At the beginning of 2026, 26 new coaches successfully obtained the CAF License C after a 10-day training program totaling 80 hours. This certification qualifies them to supervise young players between the ages of 15 and 20, a crucial stage in athletic development. Beyond this single cohort, the broader effort is significant. Within 1 year, more than 80 coaches obtained the CAF License C, while 94 coaches were trained at the CAF License B level. These figures reflect a deliberate effort to raise the national baseline of technical competence. The content of the training is adapted to the Burkina Faso context. Coaches are taught to plan sessions, manage physical preparation, understand tactical principles, and support players mentally. This comprehensive approach allows them to work independently or effectively within a team structure. By investing in coaches, Burkina Faso is investing in multipliers of impact. Each trained coach influences dozens of players over many years. This creates continuity, coherence, and quality across the entire football system. Standardized coaching is not an abstract objective. It is the foundation upon which academies, youth competitions, and national teams can produce lasting and credible results. While academies and coaches form the technical backbone of sports development, the true starting point of long-term success lies even earlier. It lies in schools, playgrounds, and youth competitions. In Burkina Faso, increasing attention is being given to school-based tournaments as a strategic channel for discovering and nurturing young talent. Competitions, such as inter-school football tournaments, provide young players with their first structured exposure to competitive sport. These events are not merely recreational. They introduce discipline, respect for rules, teamwork, and emotional control under pressure. For many students, this is the first environment where effort is measured, performance is evaluated, and progress is visible. School tournaments also offer a unique advantage. They allow talent to be identified at an early age. Before social or economic barriers force young people to abandon sport, by operating within the education system, these competitions reach a broad base of youth, including those who may never have access to private clubs or specialized training centers. The organization of these tournaments has gradually improved. Strict administrative controls, age verification, and licensing procedures help ensure fairness and credibility. This professionalism increases the confidence of families, schools, and future partners in the system. More importantly, school competitions act as bridges. Talented players identified at this level can be guided toward academies, local clubs, and eventually national development programs. This creates a continuous pathway rather than isolated opportunities. From a social perspective, school sport strengthens cohesion. Students from different backgrounds compete and cooperate under shared rules. Families and communities gather around positive events. This collective experience reinforces social bonds and offers young people a sense of belonging. By investing in school-based sport, Burkina Faso is choosing prevention over correction. It is creating opportunities early, guiding talent responsibly, and building a future generation grounded in discipline, ambition, and shared values. Taken together, the recent choices made by Burkina Faso reveal a coherent and deliberate sports strategy. Investment in modern infrastructure, the construction of 5 national sports academies, the standardization of coaching through CAF licenses, and the development of school-based competitions are not isolated actions. They form a single system designed to develop people before results. This approach reflects a broader political vision under the leadership of Ibrahim Traore. Sport is treated not as a distraction from national challenges, but as a complementary response to them. By offering structure, discipline, and opportunity to young people, sport contributes to social stability and long-term resilience. It helps shape citizens who are physically strong, mentally prepared, and socially responsible. Critics may question whether a country facing security and economic pressure can afford such investments. Burkina Faso's answer is clear. The cost of neglecting youth is far greater than the cost of training them. Sport, when organized and guided, becomes a preventive investment rather than an expense. The results observed so far suggest that this path is realistic. Progress is gradual, but the foundations are solid. Facilities are improving. Human resources are expanding. Pathways for talent are becoming clearer. In choosing to invest in sport, Burkina Faso is ultimately investing in confidence, cohesion, and the future. This is not a short-term gamble. It is a long-term commitment to building a nation through its people.